uh, funny rabbit trail. The other day, we go on this family walk on a Saturday. I told my wife I was going to go take a nap. She was like, cool. And then I went upstairs and got on Clubhouse instead, and we were gonna go a walk after my nap, and then she was like, "Hey, let's go on a walk now." And I was like, "Crap," because I just got put on this dope stage, and I was a moderator, so I had spoke already. I put in a Bluetooth, just one Bluetooth headphone, and I went on the walk, and we're halfway through it. She goes, "Are you listening to something right now, or are you listening?" And I didn't tell her. And dude, I got in so much trouble. And the funny thing was, a couple nights before, she caught me hiding in the garage on Clubhouse at like 10:45 at night when she needed help with the baby. So Clubhouse is ruining marriages, A, but B.
You're not going to be in the Clubhouse for long. You're going to be in the doghouse.
Yeah, no doubt.
I'm interested to know your thoughts on Clubhouse because I've actually been shamefully, I'm a social media marketer who's been shying away from the new social media marketing platform, right? Because I've been thinking, right, I've got an account, I had an invite, and I've created it, and I've just sat there. And actually, from our marketing agency, our Facebook ads agency, Joe and Tom, two of our top guys in the agency, have already had a Clubhouse chat and whatever they're called. And we signed up 2 clients from that, and they only spent about an hour on that. And they were high-ticket clients paying us multiple thousands on a monthly basis on retainer. And so there's obviously the value there. I'm jumping on my first Clubhouse chat next week, and we're gonna have that, and hopefully that'll be fun. What are your thoughts on the platform Clubhouse? Where do you see it going? Because I think there's a lot of talk of people being like, okay, it's just full of gurus. There's a bit of low quality traffic on there, but are people buying? Are these good people to speak to? Is it a valuable networking proposition? What are your thoughts on the platform?
Yeah, I think there's pros and cons. I think number one, I don't know this intimately, but from people I know and what I've heard, the investors in it are super serious. So it's a very serious platform. I think there are over 2 million users now. And I think that it has a real shot. Maybe to put it this way, the people I trust, Michael Stelzner, Social Media Examiner, and lots of friends, I trust the depth they've gone to, my friend Brian Fanzo, in saying this is a real deal, it's going to be big. So I take some of that and I kind of roll with that too. I think that another friend of mine, he's in network marketing, and then we're in a mastermind together. He's getting crazy, like clients. It's growth hacking his Instagram because you connect your Instagram. It's going amazing for him. And they survey another friend, Stacy. She does a survey when people sign up. I think it's a course or it's some kind of agency service. Just how'd you hear about us? And one of the survey questions is Clubhouse. So she's even tracking. So sure, it depends maybe on your niche. It depends on other things, I've heard on kind of the con side. They kind of call it like the cool kids club. It's kind of like high school and, the cool kids are on stage and everyone else listening or whatever. You got to ask who you know. I've seen that Clubhouse for me. If you could get on there and speak, that's the kind of the key. If you could get on there and be on stage, and I've seen that the level of relationships I've invested into like pre-pandemic, it rapidly accelerated me on the platform. Not only did I have pre-existing influence and trust and authority, but because I'm just like, it occurred to me the other day, man, when we were back at conferences, I built all these relationships. So I pop in a room and I'm like, these are like, now I have a snowball effect there versus maybe somebody else. So you're auditing your own resources and how you're starting. I also do think it's at a strategic time where the conference is not happening. And I've even thought the other night, it kept me up way too late, but I was like, I would have been in the hotel lobby if we were at a YouTube conference doing this exact same thing. So reminding that I haven't left my house, like because of whatever. And so there's some of those. I think the cons also are, is it going to get stolen by Twitter Spaces? Is it just going to be is it just a feature or is it really its own network? And I also think on the pro side, I don't know if it matters. I'm seeing enough ROI that even if it was a 6-month sprint, that the early adopterness, if you position right and it makes sense for your business, then yes. But the final overarching thing, to your point, because you're like, I haven't even really got on there yet. It's what every single one of us as entrepreneurs need to remember, and that's focus, which stands for follow one course until successful. Focus. You got to ask, is this the best use of my time for where I'm at in my business right now. And so even me feeling torn with how much time you can invest there, seeing ROI and still trying to measure that. But on the flip side, dude, I got freaking 13 people working. I could do whatever I want. So I'm in a moment of leverage. A lot of people are listening, probably are. Others are not. For some, it's a distraction. For some, it is a shiny object. For some, oh my gosh, Elon Musk is on there talking to Mark Zuckerberg. Well, cool, dude. But like, you've got a lot of undone business. You need to go get the shortest path to revenue. So you got to audit the season that you're in. Audit maybe some systems you need to establish, audit those things, and then consider if it is right for you right now, and consider if you're just kind of spinning your wheels. Again, as I land the plane on that, I'm seeing some of my peers who don't have the infrastructure I have, like they're kind of still, for lack of building a team or lack of leadership or who cares, they're spending a ton of time there. By the way, they can do whatever they want. And they're in a place of autonomy as well. Like, so they might be at that level, but I think, bro, there's maybe higher leverage things you could be building. And I'm seeing you on there 12 hours a day now. I mean, again, I'm trying to be judgmental. I'm just observing, is that the best use of your time right now for the season that you're in? But bottom line, I really think it shouldn't be ignored if it's clear to you that like there's a path and a correlation to how, I mean, again, I would, it's all relative, but I think I'm at 4,300 followers when you're put on stage and you have friends that just turn you into a moderator. You don't even talk for like ever. You just start getting followers because people are looking at you. Is your bio optimized? And that's probably the final thing too. Is your business set up with some level of automation? Can someone fill out a form or a survey or a quiz? Can someone download your checklist or enter your funnel or whatever? And then do you have a proven sales process that is, I mean, I do. So even in terms, marketers ruin everything. We're noticing as maybe certain things are more challenging, or if lead cost is whatever, and we're doing more YouTube ads and Facebook ads right now and whatever. Meanwhile, I'm like, I need to stay on the bleeding edge of this is actually for sure. It's fresh, it's new, it's early. It makes sense for me. So we're deploying a strategy there, even to potentially compensate for a 2021 environment. And a lot of that's super early. That's just some ideas to throw into I mean, I think it's like barely over 2 months old. I've been on there approaching a month. And so that's some initial thoughts. I'm in no way nothing is worth chiseling in stone about Clubhouse yet.
Of course.
But I think those are some thoughts.
Amazing. I think a lot of people are in the same boat, aren't they? Just kind of working out, is this something I want to invest my time into? You just said that you're spending like 12 hours a day. And I've heard a lot of people saying that kind of thing. I've spent 6 hours on Clubhouse. I spoke to one of my friends, Ed Smith, the guy down in London, who's got a really big education company. They're doing multiple 7 figures on a yearly basis for their business. And they're more kind of old school in the way that they're normally doing stage selling. And obviously they can't do that at the moment. So they're heavy on Clubhouse. You're spending a lot of time on there. And when you're doing that, are you still working like your normal day and then waiting until like a ping comes up to say, hey, it's your time to speak? Or are you listening actively throughout the entire day until you can raise your hand and have something valuable to say?
Number one, I am not spending 12 hours a day on Clubhouse. I'm watching peers do that at times. Number two, the other night, I ended up, I always go to bed at like 9. I mean, I got a newborn. I get up early. I'm like winding down at 8:30 and usually like asleep by 10 or 10:30, reading in bed, put the baby down. The other night I was up to like 12:30. I felt like I was a maniac. Like I was like, look at me, man. What is this? The Hangover 2? Like, what are we doing? Just because I got into a room, but also so much serendipity and magic can happen there. That's one of the reasons why. Like next thing you know, my friend Lewis House pops in the room, a couple other people. Now there's mods. Now we started with 75. In the later hours, there's 300 people in the room. Then you're kind of like, well, I can't leave this situation, and then it's compounding. You're watching your followers go up. Like, so when you get into those moments, the algorithm and the way things are going and potentially who and who you're on stage with, next, funny rabbit trail. The other day we go on this family walk on a Saturday. I told my wife I was going to go take a nap. She was like, cool. And then I went upstairs and got on Clubhouse instead. And we were going to go a walk after my nap. And then she was like, hey, let's go on a walk now. And I was like, crap. Cause I just got put on this dope stage. and I was a moderator. So I had spoke already. I put in a Bluetooth, just one Bluetooth headphone, and I went on the walk, and we're on halfway through it. She goes, "Are you listening to something right now? Or are you listening?" And I didn't tell her. And dude, I got in so much trouble. And the funny thing was, a couple nights before, she caught me hiding in the garage on Clubhouse at like 10:45 at night when she needed help with the baby. So Clubhouse is ruining marriages, A, but B, and obviously I have a lack of self-discipline and I'm completely unwise. She goes, "Why don't you just communicate with me?" And I'm trying to explain it to her. I'm like, "Well, I don't even know. Like these, you don't understand." I was like, "Okay, cool. I'm going to go on a walk." And I got modded as soon as you said that. And I was like, shoot. And she's like, "We should have told me before we left." Here's the point. That's, I think, one of the reasons why people are kind of getting sucked into the vortex of it. However, yes, my friend Brett Kungston is crushing rooms. People are doing multiple devices. They're just chilling in rooms. It's who they know. They're sitting up there. I don't even know how to do the multiple device thing. I guess that means you could duplicate yourself. So you could be in a couple different rooms. And some of these rooms, which I don't like these rooms actually. There's like 100 mods. I'm like, what the heck are we going to do here? Like, I don't even know what's going on. And like, there's a couple different people. However, the growth hackingness of that is you just sit on stage as a mod and as a speaker, and there's a level of authority, and it does grow your following. And then people look at your bio, and if you're really clear about how you help people, it can attract the right people to your biz. So yes, you do leave it on. Bro, it's on. It's actually on right now. I'm in YouTube Secret Strategies and New Features, and I told them I was going on this thing with you, and I was like, I handed over mods, and I was going to leave the room. But then I was like, why should I leave the room? I'll keep growing while and then I'll just jump back in after this. It is kind of that weird addiction that you're getting the full, this is the Clubhouse Anonymous meeting with Patty.
You're not going to be in the clubhouse for long. You're going to be in the doghouse.
Yeah, no doubt.
So you'd say, just finally, because I'm conscious of time, and I appreciate your time today. Look, just if you want to grow on the platform, we're saying you just need to get on stage. You just need to get recognized, give some value out there for free, and have people see who you are. Would you say that's the best way to grow on Clubhouse right now?
I would also say that my friend Brett, he goes, "Dude, it's a grind." He goes, "I've never seen a platform where there's no way to really fake it though. Because even if you kind of hack it and put an earbud in and don't talk for the hour walk with your wife, and then afterwards I was back in the room and I was engaging again, like whatever. And even like we're doing right now, which again, it's not a big deal. Like either way, I just thought, I was like, I'm going to leave. Why would I leave the room? Like I started the room and then I was like, hey, I forgot I had this. And so, but I'll be able to jump back in. So what's the point? You got to put time in. You can't fake your voice. You can't outsource it. You can't schedule the tweet out on Hootsuite or Buffer. So yes, I think you got to put the time on. And then of course there's tactics and strategies, but it's leading with value. I think others that are maybe even more aggressive in sales overall might say you could sell well there. You could do different things. I think that a well-optimized bio, the opportunity, you also can't fake it. Like when you go on audio and you answer a question, real recognizes real. People could be like, "Oh, homie knows his stuff." Like that's good. So therefore, then if you are good at writing your bio and you have articulated your value prop clear and you've humanized your bio to a point and you have clear call to actions, or you take it to your DMs, I think it's just like good networking in general. You don't want it to be transactional. You want it to be relational. You want to be super patient. You actually want to have no expectations, but also have absolute intention, knowing that you're trying to find the right people where there could be a win-win situation with the value you create in your business. And Clubhouse is an accelerator of that. And not only is it a great answer for right now when we are not doing meetings or things in person, but consider the fact that I have a 4-month-old. I am absolutely like the pandemic helped me prepare and clear my schedule and kind of reorient my priorities to like, dude, I just love being at home and I want to be home with my family. And I'm able to be in experiences like this where, shoot, yeah, I can invest 4 hours. That's not that long. If I didn't have to go on a plane, get a hotel room, be at a conference for 3 days. So I think it's actually truly serving a powerful need and giving us a tool for making meaningful connections and relationships. And then finding those strategic business partnerships. We're thinking about using it for a lot of things in regards to hiring. Thought it'd be interesting. because we're about to do that, like to interview people kind of on stage and get a vibe so people can also hear our priorities and filter things out. I don't know, just an experiment we're going to do. Of course, building the brand of I help people with YouTube. And so it's a vacuum, and there's other people doing it as well. But because I have a system and I have a business that's built and I have a process, you'd have to ask me, is it smart for me to be on YouTube or on Clubhouse? Are you kidding? New real estate and territory that I want to plant my flag to be the voice or one of the prominent voices on YouTube, on Clubhouse. That is, I think, wise. And I have no fear if again, Instagram, what Instagram did to Snapchat happens, the people you've heard from, we've already seen the correlation just across the board. We're trying to figure out how to measure it, but there's been some intangible things like we have a course called Video Rake It Academy, and I think we're trying to do 2,021 units in the first quarter. Mm-hmm. It's $1,000 course, so that's, what is that? That's pretty good first quarter if we could hit that.
Yeah.
2.2 million or something, or $2,021,000 or something. So we're already, for some other reasons too, digital ads and everything, right? But just in the first couple of weeks before we did anything, the numbers were higher, and the attribution, I was like, I've been hanging on Clubhouse, adding value, spending time, answering people's questions, spending 45 minutes with people. And think about that. Like now them and people have heard my voice, heard how much I care, heard that I'm willing to help, seen that I'm good for it. So then if you think about marketing and influence, Robert, don't know how to say his last name, Sindali or whatever, and then persuasion, it's almost like what's happening. You're having just this chance to vibe with people, for them to really get to know you and hear the intimacy of your voice, kind of like a podcast in a real time that is live, that can't be faked. And then if like, it's the perfect filter. Cause if they go, dude, I hate this guy's voice, I don't like his vibe, I don't like his style, I don't like his values, I don't like his story. Well, great. Then you've already disqualified. They're obviously not a good customer, but they're like, wow, there's kind of a vibe. Let me check his bio out. Like we saw book sales lift, because that's such an easy, low friction point of our book, YouTube Secrets, in January 2021. And so, yeah, we're still trying to figure it out, but I do think, and so I would, landing the plane, like talking to you, Jordan, I think for you, it makes a ton of sense. And I think that everybody listening has to ask that question, is this the best use of my time right now? And for most people, I would challenge them that, yes, maybe you want to get on the stage with somebody. You could turn on notifications for a particular speaker, because it could be your shot in the door when they're on, you raise your hand, you get to talk to them. That's amazing. But alternatively, my last con is I think leaders don't leave their learning like to being random. I don't like doing things that are random. I like doing things that are intentional. Mm-hmm. So I would rather buy a course that I can watch step 1 through 30 rather than just hope to pick up golden nuggets on Clubhouse. Now, to be fair, there is something about when you leave your day-to-day routine and you go walk around and you do something random that inspires new creativity. But that's asking yourself, are you in a season of needing new creativity, or are you in a season of needing linear execution? And so, and then, the final thing is, by all means, my friend Brian put it this way, he's seeing Clubhouse replace Netflix. He's seeing Clubhouse replace Cyberpunk 2077. Like, so he's seeing that, like, actually, because you're vibing with people. And so maybe you have your grind and you get your priorities done. Like my mom taught me, do the hard thing first, but then do whatever you want. Just, in your after hours or whatever. So it's all a matter of knowing what season you're in and being disciplined as possible with that.
I'm sold, man. Guys, you heard it here first. I'm going to be on Clubhouse. See you there. Go follow me on the platform. I'm sure I'm going to see what groups you're in. I'm going to raise my hand and we'll chill out on Clubhouse. I'm feeling it. I think it sounds good. I'm going to give it a shot. Going to see. And then what I'll do for the benefit of everyone else here, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little snippet of the podcast here. I'm going to upload it in a separate video as well, because I think people benefit to hear the views on Clubhouse and whether it's beneficial for business right now. And so I'll document to you guys. I'll let you know how I get on Clubhouse, if we get any more sales from the agency and for the academy as well, and for Learn Ads. And I'll keep you guys updated on how profitable it is for me. And of course, go check out Sean on Clubhouse as well.